We got major OTA news from Allen Park.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, everybody. Let's do this on a Friday edition of Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Matt Derry and you on this Friday, May the 30th into Saturday, May the 31st. Thanks for making us your first listen, everybody. And thank you for checking us out wherever you get your podcast. That could be on Apple, Spotify, on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Please subscribe and check us out on YouTube if you've not done that. And listen up, everybody. My good friends at the Michigan Panthers, that's right, UFL football. Panthers are playing tomorrow, Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. I got some tickets to give away. My buddies down at the Panthers, Jeremiah Hergott. I got my boy Roman Bruno. Love all the folks at the Panthers. I got 3 pairs of tickets to give away for Michigan Panthers football tomorrow afternoon at Ford Field at 3 o'clock. You got to go on our YouTube page. You got to comment that you want the tickets and put in my email or put in your email in the comments, and I'll pick some random winners. But I'm going to do that right away. So for those of you that are watching right now, you want to go to the game tomorrow. Bad prep job by me to not look up and see who they're playing. I think it might be Birmingham. I know the Panthers are going to the playoffs. They're playing tomorrow, Saturday, 3 o'clock at Ford Field. You want a pair of tickets? Just tell me on our Locked On Lions YouTube page in the comment section. Comment that you love the show, that you want to go to the game. Put your email in the comments as well, and I'll send some folks some tickets courtesy of our friends at the Michigan Panthers. Locked On Lions, everydayers, shout out to you. I know there's a ton of you on LinkedIn that have hit me up and told me you're an everyday listener. I appreciate all of you. We'll do a list on Monday. It's just been a wild week here on Locked On Lions, so my apologies for not shouting out some of our everydayers. Media was allowed into Lions OTAs today, organized team activities. We will give you an update on what Dan Campbell had to say today as well, coming up in a little bit. Jameson Williams, a lot going on with JMO, a lot going on. Dan Campbell says he's going to be a beast this year. Waymo wearing the number 1. He's ready to mentor some of the young guys. And then a little afternoon social media Instagram that everybody is sending me. It's been a roller coaster Friday for good old Jameson Williams. Bryce Huff is in the news. This was a guy that we kind of suspected the Philadelphia Eagles were maybe trying to trade, and they have. We'll tell you about that. That's an edge rusher now that is off the board. And that the Lions, I don't think we're trading for him anyway, but it begs the question of what could they have done this? We'll explain that. And final segment today, I got to give some love to the Lions wide receivers because our friend Warren Sharp from Sharp Football Analytics had a stat about Lion receivers last year where they were number 1. We will tell you what that stat is coming up momentarily on the program. So good to be back with you on this Friday edition, everybody, of Locked On Lions. My apologies to those of you that do audio only. For some odd reason, it didn't load in until earlier this morning, yesterday's show. So my apologies for that if you're just catching up on all of the episodes from this week. All right, news from OTAs. Let's start with this. Dan Campbell today, the Lions head coach, admitted and did not say by name that 2 players, only 2, were not present for organized team activities today in Allen Park. This, of course, I wouldn't say started a bleep storm or anything like that, but people were wondering, the media was wondering who's not there. All right. There were plenty of players, and I'll go over the list of guys that didn't practice that have some ailments, some bumps and bruises. But Dan Campbell said today, quote, "We only have 2 guys that are not here right now. I know who they are. I know where they're at. I've talked to them, and we're all good." He added, "I think what's great is any player that I talk to, I have a relationship with, and there's an open line of communication. Whatever I say to those players, I'm not going to say to the media. Never will. But their communication's been great, so I'm not worried about anything. I know this. We're in late May. It's not even, is it even June yet? We're not even in June. So life's good, man. we're going to be fine. So he reiterated a couple times that life is good. And we're all good. The two players that were not there. Number one is Frank Ragnow. We have no idea why Frank Ragnow was not there. And again, organized team activities are voluntary. The Lions aren't having a mandatory mini camp in a few weeks because of the scheduling. They want to do 2 sets of OTAs this week and next week. Then they're not going to open up. Then they'll open up training camp very, very early in July because they have to play the Hall of Fame game July 31st. So training camp will be the Lions and Chargers will be the first teams out there for training camp, likely in mid-July. I don't have the date of that yet. So we know one thing. Frank Ragnow, not there. The other player that was not there today, we've talked about this, Alex Anzalone. I'm not calling him a no-show. I'm not calling this a holdout. I like what Dan Campbell said. He's talked to both guys. He knows where they are, and we're all good. Anzalone, as we have discussed on this program, is entering the 3rd year of his 3-year, $18 million contract they had signed before 2023. He is a captain of the defense. He is a guy that has been here since the organization rebooted in 2021 under Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. And Alex Anzalone is a very good football player. As we like to call him on this show, Gaines Media poster boy, because our friend Robert Banker at Gaines Media loves him. The flowing blonde locks, everything you want to say about Alex Anzalone has been positive over his first 4 years with the Lions. He's gotten better every year. And this was a guy after his first year that I said, why are they bringing him back? Because I didn't think he was much as a linebacker in 2021. 395 tackles, 22 TFL, 6.5 sacks, and 2 interceptions for Anzalone in his 4 years with the Lions. But might want a new deal. There's been nothing public about him holding out or about him holding in, as Bradford Banta pointed out on the show yesterday. But he's not there. Again, this isn't mandatory. These are voluntary. For the Lions to only have 2 guys out is pretty impressive. But we called this. We knew this was coming. I think Alex Anzalone would like a new deal. I think he has seen that some of his teammates, a lot of his teammates, have signed new contracts, and guys have been retained here. Kirby Joseph, Aleem McNeil, Penei Sewell, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown. List goes on and on, right, of players that have been retained here by this organization. The Lions and Brad Holmes have done a great job of keeping guys around. Anzalone's entering the final year of his deal, might want a new one, and maybe this is his way of showing that he's unhappy. I don't know. If he comes out and puts something out on social media, or someone, one of the writers or one of the reporters finds him and asks him why he wasn't there, maybe he'll divulge. But as of now, not in attendance, Alex Anzalone. Also, Dan Campbell pointed out that there were specific players who were not practicing because, again, dings, as he called them, dings here and there. And so he had guys that were not on the field. That includes David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Miles Frazier, Aleem McNeil, Levi Onwuzurike, Mekhi Wingo, Derek Barnes, Terrion Arnold, Brian Branch. Campbell said there were 21 players who were either limited or wouldn't be participating in practice. He didn't go through the whole name, all the names, but those are some of the guys that were not around. Isaac Teslaw is a guy that was at practice today, but was not participating in practice. And Campbell also pointed out that a lot of the rookies, they're scaling back a little bit due to the fact that they have gone through rookie minicamp and they want them to take it easy. So if guys like Teslaw, Tyleik Williams were not out there this week, there's a chance it could be out there next week. Also, Jack Campbell not participating yet. He said after practice today, he had a mild hip little thing or surgery this offseason. And he's been working out, though, regardless. So a smallish hip, who knows if it was a surgery or if it was something minor. But Jack Campbell said he's going to be out there, and he feels like every single player that's in there knows what it's going to take to be where we want to be, end quote. And he's participating in every walkthrough session. So that is good news. Now, the player that everybody's been talking about on the field and a guy that people expect to have a bust out year this year is none other than Jameson Williams, who is always, I'm not going to say always, but there's usually sometimes some controversy surrounding JMO. No one's going to say he's not a terrific player. He is a very, very good player, and the Lions feel like he can become a great player. We will explain coming up next. And I know some of you have sent me the Instagram from today, and I will read you what he wrote, and I'll keep it positive. We'll do that coming up next right here on a Friday edition of Locked On Lions. All right, folks, Locked On Lions brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder going to the NBA Finals, but we still don't know who they're going to play yet. We got Game 6 tomorrow night. Pacers back home taking on the Knicks. Indiana still up 3-2. So the NBA playoffs still going on. Every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, it's never been a better time to get in on the action than at FanDuel. They make it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live during the games. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Which players are showing up in the biggest moments? We saw it last night. Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson from the Knicks. How could tracking their trends help you build your next bet? And if you've got a read on a guy that's heating up, why not back it up with the same game parlay? Are you new to FanDuel? It's a perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, welcome back. Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Matt Derry with you. Thanks for being with us. Got my little Locked On shirt even on today. We're getting ready for a weekend. And of course, hey, we got the Lions back at it for OTAs next week before they kind of shut it down for a little while and get ready for training camp. Unbelievable. Unbelievable getting close. This is fantastic. All right, so Dan Campbell today, Lions head coach, has done a fantastic job, was asked about Jameson Williams. And yes, what's going on with him, what he expects from him, etc. Progress, expectations, etc. Campbell said, quote, he's had a good spring and it's another one. And I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves in OTAs, but there's so much versatility with him. There's so many things that we can do just with his routes on the outside. I mean, we can do things inside, but just with his speed, and he's gotten so much stronger. His ability to stop, put his foot in the ground. Man, when you can run like he can now, and now you're beginning to get exactly where you can stop on a dime, you talk about a hard cover. The sky's the limit for him. He's exactly where we want him to be right now at this point. He's been here. He's grinding. He's getting better. Scotty is freaking grinding him. That's Scotty Montgomery, the Lions wide receivers coach. It's awesome. We expect him to have a huge season. We really do, man. He's going to be one of these guys we're going to lean on this year, and is really going to be big for us. All he's got to do is just keep working like he's working, and will be good. Now, if you recall, Lions offensive coordinator Johnny Morton a few weeks ago said he was going to be a breakout year for Jameson Williams. And look, I saw the videos with him today where he spoke after practice. He's in a great mood. He's wearing number 1. He feels great in it. He even said he's ready to mentor some of the young guys and has learned so much, and he feels stronger. He's lifted a lot of weights, and he's ready to have a breakout year too. And look, Jameson Williams knows what's at stake as well. Yes, the Lions have picked up his 5th-year option. Yes, he signed for 2 more years. Yes, if the Lions want to franchise tag him after 2026, that's definitely something they can do. It's not something they normally do, but, and he also heard Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes was transparent with the media at the owners' meetings. Receivers are expensive, and they got one $30 million receiver already on their team, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And other than the Bengals, I don't know of any other teams that carry a pair of $30 million receivers. So all is positive. You're feeling good about it today. You hear what Dan Campbell has to say. You see the kind of shape that Jameson Williams is in. You love hearing that he has spent the offseason here, that he comes into the building and everything else. And then this afternoon, numerous text messages start hitting my phone. I get a couple of DMs on the old personal private Instagram. Hey, did you see this? Hey, Jameson Williams just posted. And I'm like, oh no. Let me read it to you. I did not and don't want to do this, but here we go. So JMO posted a picture of himself with his shirt off in the car with his sunglasses on. And he's got a little message as well to go with the selfie. Quote, A-Y-E, the guy's got a party today. I'm on duty telling all pretty sexy, bossed up, fine S-word to pull down. So let's go. Laughing emoji. Just DM me. End quote. JMO's looking for some ladies to party with and put it out on the old Instagram. I don't know. Did JMO not see Stefon Diggs' Instagram the other day where he's got some pink substance or something and women all over him on a boat? And people are like, what's Stefon Diggs doing? Why would he post that? And then, I'm trying really hard because this guy is so talented and is so good. And hours earlier, his head coach is going, this is the guy. He's going to be huge for us this year. Man, he's in shape. He's working so hard. And I know it's his personal Instagram, but everybody's seen it. He's out there talking about, hey, DM me and need some pretty sexy, bossed up, fine S-word to come out and hang with me. I don't know. I'm going to focus on football. I'm going to try really hard to stick with my JMO's going to have a big year routine, but the social media and things like that, players just have to know better. And Stefon Diggs is in the same category. Like, how silly can you be to do something that dumb and post something like that, where then they had to ask Mike Vrabel, his head coach the other day in New England, like, hey, did you see the Stefon Diggs post? Oh yeah, we saw it. We're dealing with it. So, not sure if I don't think Dan Campbell's going to be asked about something like this, but, sometimes you got to still make good choices. So there's that. Bryce Huff. Many Lions fans wanted Bryce Huff in Detroit 2 years ago when he had a monster year for the New York Jets. He signed, he had a 10-sack season, and he signs a 3-year, $51 million deal before last season with the Philadelphia Eagles. And everybody went, oh my gosh, the rich are getting richer. Eagles go out and get a 26, 27-year-old edge rusher that had a big year for the Jets the year before and got paid. Well, turns out that the Eagles could not wait to get rid of him. And I know a couple of people hit me up today and said, oh, why didn't the Lions try to do this? Well, listen up. Bryce Huff is making about $17.5 million a year. And the Eagles traded him today to the San Francisco 49ers for a mid-round draft pick, and the two teams sound like are going to split his salary this year. So Philadelphia got rid of an underachieving player who only played in 12 games last year, only had 2.5 sacks, was inactive for the Super Bowl. And they just saved $8 million because they shipped the money and the player to San Francisco. If the Philadelphia Eagles don't want Bryce Huff, then I don't think the Detroit Lions would want him either. Now, he's going to San Francisco. You ask, well, the Niners want him. The Niners defensive coordinator is his former head coach with the Jets, Robert Saleh. He is being reunited with Saleh, who's now back in San Francisco. But the Niners are taking on money and Huff, but at least for this year, taking on half the money on that contract. But it is interesting. We've talked about it numerous times on this pod. How come the Lions haven't gone out and gotten an edge rusher? Could they trade for this guy? Could they sign this guy? What about Trey Hendrickson? And of course, that's not going to happen. I've told you that. Is Darius Smith on a 1-year deal later on this summer more viable or realistic? Absolutely it is. Bryce Huff was maybe realistic after 2 years ago, but the Lions don't do 3-year, $51 million deals on a lot of players. That's never been their forte in free agency. It is interesting that the Eagles are cutting bait after 1 year. I was scrolling through social media. I saw Ross Tucker's tweet too as well with his video where he's like, look, this guy, I thought he'd be on the team and I didn't think anybody would absorb that salary. Yet the Eagles got a mid-round draft pick for him and got out from underneath that entire contract and only are paying $9 million this year, then they're done. So they saved $8 million. He's making about $17.5 million a year. So that's what the Eagles do. Howie Roseman, their GM, does a great job. It'll be interesting to see if Bryce Huff can bounce back and have the kind of year in 2025 that he had in 2023. So another edge rusher sort of off the board, but I was not expecting the Lions to trade for a player like that. It was entering the second year of a big contract that he really did not live up to last year. Only had 2.5 sacks. And again, was inactive for the Super Bowl. Wasn't even out there. All right. Coming up next, great stat that I saw from our man Warren Sharp today. And it is a testament to the Lions wide receivers. And I guess you can include the tight ends as well as to how good they are working with Jared Goff. We'll explain next right here on Locked On Lions. Don't forget, everybody, following tonight's Tigers-Royals game, my guy Jake Riepma will be on Locked On Sports Detroit on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts with the Tigers postcast. Yes, after every Tiger game, Lions game, Red Wings game, Pistons game, Jake is with you doing a live show. So it's the Locked On Sports Detroit postcast with Jake Riepma tonight after the Tigers take on the Royals. Please check it out. One more reminder. I got 50-yard line, 3 pairs of tickets for tomorrow's Michigan Panthers game at 3 o'clock at Ford Field. Go on my YouTube channel, put your email in there, say you want the tickets, say you want to go, and I'll transfer some to some of our listeners. But you got to be quick and on the YouTube comments, folks, because I'm going to do that right away, pretty soon, right after we post this very podcast. Warren Sharp, our buddy from Sharp Football, put out an unbelievable stat today. And I guess it only pertains to wide receivers. Let me double check on this. Highest percentage of receiver error that caused incompletions last season in the NFL. Highest percentage of receiver error that caused incompletions last year for quarterbacks. All right, meaning who are the receivers that cost their quarterbacks with poor routes, slipping and falling, dropped passes, miscommunication, tipped balls that led to interceptions, all of that. The bottom 5 receiver error teams last year were the Green Bay Packers at number 1. Oh, Peter Bukowski, the Packers receivers. They were number 1 in costing their quarterback. We saw it firsthand in the Lions game at Lambeau Field, the amount of drop balls, everything else. Number 2 were the New York Jets. Their receiving core was horrible. Number 3, Indianapolis Colts. Number 4, New York Jets. And number 5, Cleveland Browns. Highest percentage of receiver error causing incompletions, Packers, Jets, Colts, Giants, and Browns. Coming in dead last, but really here first, in terms of the lowest percentage of receiver error, the least amount of mistakes made by a receiver that caused incomplete passes. Number 1 on the list, your Detroit Lions. All right, Lions, how about that? So what a testament to that group last year, led by Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Tim Patrick, Khalif Raymond, heck, even guys like Allen Robinson, Tom Kennedy that were out there for a little while. But the Lions receivers were the best when it came to any kind of receiver error that caused incompletions. I love that. You know, and Jared Goff spoke today and just mentioned that he's tweaking a few things, but that he's kind of going to keep that to himself. But there's not much better. It's not much better than what you have right now, than what Detroit has when it comes to their passing game. And it obviously started the last couple of years under Ben Johnson with play action passing. Jared Goff is a maestro in the play pass game. Lions know they can establish a run with Jahmyr Gibbs, with David Montgomery. Come on, Craig Reynolds, Vaki, all of them can play. Then you set that up with Goff and pinpoint accuracy. The guy is very accurate. No one has said Jared Goff's a great deep ball thrower, but route running, blocking downfield, reliability. This Lions receiving core being number one in the league in receiver error is pretty cool. I love that stat, and I wanted to share it with the fans because, it means that receiving core is doing the right things. Raiders were second best, Rams, Seahawks, and Eagles. Not a surprise when you look at what Philadelphia has with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and that group. Seattle, of course, with DK Metcalf last year and Tyler Lockett. Both of them, I believe, are gone. Yes, from Seattle. And the Rams receivers with Nakua and Cooper Kupp a year ago. But Lions, number one, lowest percentage of receiver error. So when there were issues, it was most likely Jared Goff. We know Jared Goff. Every quarterback can have some bad games. Jared Goff, unfortunately, had a bad game in the Commanders game in the playoffs. But receivers doing the right things, crisp routes, communication with their quarterback, catching the football, all of those things made for a great year last year. And there were games last year, as we know, where Jared Goff's completion percentage was like through the roof high. Wasn't there a game or a couple games where he's 14 out of 14 to start the year? There's that synergy he has with his receivers, and we are lucky here to have this group. And now you add a rookie and Isaac Tesla into the mix. It should be even deeper and better this season. So I think that is pretty sweet. All right, we are back on Monday with another episode of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. Thanks, everybody, for making us your first listen. Checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Again, OTAs continue next week as well. And again, you want to go to the Michigan Panther game tomorrow, leave a comment on our Locked On Lions YouTube page on this show when you're watching it. Throw your email in there, and you might get some tickets sent your way, courtesy of our friends at the Michigan Panthers, as they play tomorrow at 3 o'clock at Ford Field. We're back again Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.